You know that feeling when you're just swimming in this ocean of crypto info, trying to figure out some complex new idea, and you're just wishing, can someone give me the shortcut, the important stuff? Well, guess what? You found it. Today, we are diving deep into something really fascinating and honestly, pretty crucial for where DeFi is heading. Crypto wormholes. Our mission today, simple. We're going to unpack what these digital pathways actually are. How do they connect different blockchains? Blockchains that normally don't talk to each other. And most importantly, what's it all mean for you? Maybe you're trading assets. Maybe you're thinking about building an app, or maybe you just want to understand, the next big thing in crypto. We've got you covered. We've got a whole stack of sources here. Cryptopolitan, Trade Dog, Wormhole's own roadmap, which is pretty ambitious, and even a critical look at bridge security from Chronos Vault.
Yeah.
We'll pull out the key insights, the nuggets of knowledge, get you up to speed, fast and thorough. Okay, let's unpack this thing. So Wormhole sounds like pure sci-fi, right? Like shortcuts through space.
Yes, exactly. Interstellar travel stuff.
But in crypto, it's very real tech. It's actually happening now.
Mm-hmm.
At its core, a crypto wormhole is basically a hidden pathway. It lets you move tokens, data, from one blockchain to another. And the key part, without needing a typical third-party exchange in the middle.
Right. Think of it like building a tunnel. A direct tunnel between two cities that were totally isolated before.
Yeah, like London and, Tokyo suddenly connected underground.
Exactly. And boom, trade flows, communication flows. It directly tackles two massive headaches in the blockchain world. Getting tokens from chain A to chain B easily, that's transferability, and getting these chains to just work together, interoperability.
Because before this, these networks were basically islands, right? Operating totally separately.
Totally separate silos. And what's really cool is how that physics idea, the shortcut through space-time, applies here. Instead of galaxies, we're connecting Ethereum and Solana, or Arbitrum and Avalanche, networks that just couldn't directly interact before.
So the Wormhole protocol itself is the tunnel.
It is the tunnel. And this is big because it helps users dodge a lot of that counterparty risk. The risk that the exchange you're using might go down or get hacked or just freeze your funds.
Okay, that tunnel analogy works.
Right.
But let's get practical. How do these digital tunnels actually function?
Yeah.
How does it work under the hood? Locking something here, minting something there, across different crypto environments?
It's clever, really. It mainly uses smart contracts. When you start a transfer, let's say moving some ETH from Ethereum over to Solana,
okay,
your original ETH on Ethereum gets locked up in a smart contract, held securely. Then an equivalent amount of a wrapped token, like wrapped ETH or WETH, gets created or minted on the destination chain, Solana in this case.
So this WETH on Solana represents my original ETH back on Ethereum.
Precisely. It's like a claim check for your original asset. This whole lock and mint thing keeps the total supply the same across all the chains involved. Value isn't created or destroyed, just represented differently.
And to get my original ETH back?
You just reverse the process. You send the wrapped token back. It gets burned, essentially destroyed on Solana. And that triggers the smart contract on Ethereum to unlock your original ETH.
Huh.
And it all happens usually very fast, which is, why traders really like it. Quick moves, often lower fees compared to multiple exchange hops.
Right. So we're trusting code, these smart contracts, to handle our assets. That's a big leap.
Yeah.
But who's watching the watchers? Who are the guardians making sure this tunnel is secure?
Good question. The Wormhole system specifically uses a select group of validator nodes. They actually call them guardians.
Guardians. Okay. Fitting.
Yeah, and these aren't just random nodes. They're carefully chosen, often big staking providers like Everstake, companies with reputations on the line. They run specific software and follow strict rules to check every transfer.
How do they check it?
When a request comes in, say your ETH to Solana transfer, a large majority of these guardians have to independently verify it, sign off on it. It's called achieving a quorum of verification. Only after that quorum is reached does the system lock the original asset and mint the wrapped one.
So it's not just one entity making the decision, it's distributed trust among these guardians.
Exactly. Distributed trust. Though it's important to remember, there are still fees. You'll usually pay a small transaction fee for the bridge service itself, plus the normal network gas fees on both the sending and receiving chains.
Right, okay. Nothing's entirely free. So this tech, it sounds pretty powerful, a real shift. What are the big wins here for, the average user or maybe a developer listening?
Well, the number one benefit really is cutting out that reliance on centralized exchanges for cross-chain swaps. That dramatically reduces your counterparty risk Less worry about the exchange getting hacked or going bust.
That's huge, especially after some of the collapses we've seen.
Absolutely. And for traders, depending on the setup, it can sometimes offer a bit more anonymity than using a platform that requires full KYC. But zooming out, the bigger picture is access. Access to new markets, new liquidity pools. Maybe there's a hot new DeFi protocol on Solana, but your main assets are on Ethereum. Wormholes let you bridge over, participate, tap into that liquidity without selling everything and moving through a central exchange.
And it's not just about moving tokens around, is it? What else can this tech enable?
Oh, much more. The vision is to really revolutionize DeFi by letting value and data flow seamlessly. Think about getting yield from different protocols on different chains, all managed more easily. It's huge for developers too.
How so?
It allows for multi-chain dApps. Imagine building one application, but it uses the security of Ethereum for holding value, maybe the speed of Solana for quick trades, and perhaps Arbitrum for cheap computations, all working together.
Wow, okay, so an app isn't stuck on just one chain's limitations.
Exactly. It expands the user base, the functionality, everything. And another big one, NFT cross-chain bridges. Your digital collectible isn't stuck on the chain it was minted on. Move it to where the buyers are, or where you want to use it in a game on another chain.
That opens up the NFT market quite a bit.
Immensely. For developers, Wormhole tries to make building these things easier. They offer tools so devs can kind of pick and choose the best features from different layer ones, low fees here, high security there, without getting bogged down in the low-level plumbing. Building wallets, DEXs, DAOs that span multiple chains becomes much more feasible.
Okay, the benefits are clear. Very compelling. But, and there's always a but in crypto, isn't there?
Usually.
I mean, smoothing things over, abstracting away the chain. Does that introduce new risks?
And we have to talk about the dark side. The hacks. Because the numbers involved in bridge exploits are, well, they're terrifying. You're absolutely right to bring that up. The potential is huge, but so are the risks. Like any crypto activity, things can go wrong. These cross-chain transactions, they're usually irreversible. If you make a mistake, send to the wrong address, or if there's fraud, poof, it's gone.
No undo button.
No undo button. And depending on the specific bridge design, some might involve interacting with custodial elements, increasing risk if not handled carefully. Plus, let's be honest, this tech is still relatively new compared to, say, Bitcoin or Ethereum's core layers. Security is an ongoing battle.
And it's a battle the attackers have won spectacularly sometimes. We're talking over $2 billion stolen from bridges in just a couple of years. Roman Bridge, $625 million. Poly Network, $611 million. Harmony Horizon, $100 million. Nomad, $190 million. And Wormhole itself had a massive one. Feels like these bridges became honeypots. And often it seems the weakness wasn't pure crypto cracking, but exploiting flaws in the logic or the trust assumptions built into the bridge. Trusting human signers more than math.
That's a very sharp observation. It really gets to the heart of the bridge security challenge. So the Wormhole hack specifically, what went wrong there? What did we learn?
Yeah, that was February 2022, a huge one. $320 million worth of wrapped ether basically vanished.
Vanished. How?
The attacker found a vulnerability in the smart contract on the Solana side. Specifically, they exploited something called a signature verification bypass.
Okay, break that down.
In very simple terms, the code that was supposed to check the validity of the Guardian's signatures had a loophole. The attacker submitted a fake verification message, but used some malicious input technically. It involved something called va.guardian set index being negative, which the system didn't expect or handle correctly.
So they basically forged the Guardian's approval.
Essentially, yeah. They tricked the Solana contract into thinking a deposit of ETH had happened on the Ethereum side when it hadn't. This allowed them to mint 120,000 ETH on Solana completely out of thin air.
Wow. And then they just bridged it back to Ethereum and cashed out.
Pretty much. They redeemed most of it back to real ETH on Ethereum, swapped some for other assets like SOL and USDC. Wormhole offered a $10 million bounty, full white hat agreement, but the funds were never returned.
That's a painful lesson.
Yeah.
It really highlighted how critical meticulous code auditing and, maybe more importantly, formal verification are for these complex cross-chain systems.
Yeah.
And it pushed the whole industry to question reliance on just a set of signers, however reputable.
Absolutely. So after getting hit that hard, how did Wormhole respond? How are they trying to rebuild that trust and, prevent something like that from happening again?
Well, they reacted quickly. Jump Crypto, one of their major backers, actually stepped in immediately to replace the stolen $320 million, which was crucial for maintaining confidence.
Wow, okay. That's a big move.
Huge. But beyond that, technically, they've implemented a lot more safeguards. Things like time lock protocols, delays on major actions to allow for monitoring and enhanced multi-chain communication checks. Security is now, understandably, front and center. They emphasize their 19 guardians, the governor role, the global accountant monitoring things.
And audits, bug bounties.
Constantly. They run continuous audits with multiple firms, have that big $5 million bug bounty to attract friendly hackers, and the entire code base is fully open source so anyone can inspect it. And critically, they have that ZK roadmap.
Right, zero-knowledge proofs. Using math to prove something without revealing the data itself. That sounds like a move towards less trust, more verification.
Exactly. Less reliance on the honesty of the guardians, more on cryptographic certainty. That's the direction things are heading.
And it's clear they haven't just patched things up. They're actively building and evolving. What does that evolution look like? Where did they start, and where are they going now?
It's been quite a journey. They started back in 2020 just as a simple bridge between Ethereum and Solana. That was Era 1. Era 2, from about 2021 to early 2024, was massive expansion. They became the first general message passing protocol, not just for tokens, connecting over 30 blockchains, processing, they say, over 1 billion messages, moving tens of billions in value.
Billion messages, wow.
Yeah. Now we're in Era 3, the era of experience. This is focused on making it much easier and smoother for users, better interfaces, native swaps built in, faster transfers, and also tools for institutions.
And looking forward, Era 4.
Era 4, planned for 2025, looks really interesting. They're promising the industry's first MultiGov, a true multi-chain governance system. The Wormhole DAO goes live. And more ZK upgrades, implementing ZK-like clients for major chains like Ethereum, Near, Aptos. That should significantly boost the trustlessness of the whole system.
MultiGov, multi-chain governance. That sounds complex but important. If I hold the W token, what does that mean for me? How can I participate?
So the W token, which launched back in April 2024, is key to their decentralization plan. By staking W tokens, you can do this through platforms like Kali. You get voting power in the Wormhole DAO.
And this DAO controls?
Increasingly, it will control the future of the protocol. This MultiGov system is designed so W holders on Solana or Ethereum or EVM Layer 2s can all create proposals, vote on them, and execute them across all the connected chains.
So I don't have to bridge my tokens just to vote.
Exactly. It aims to be seamless. And there's no lockup for staking. Plus, you can delegate your vote if you prefer someone else to represent your interests. The plan is for the DAO to eventually take over big decisions, adding new chains, upgrading contracts, setting fees, maybe even changing the guardian set or security parameters like rate limits.
That's real decentralization in action if they pull it off. So this isn't just future tech. You mentioned big players are using Wormhole right now.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's powering a lot already. Uniswap, arguably the biggest DEX.
Yep, no Uniswap.
They use Wormhole for all their cross-chain stuff.
Yeah, you're a fan.
Their own internal assessment committee actually evaluated multiple bridges and named Wormhole the only one they unconditionally approved. That's a massive endorsement.
Rios. Who else?
You've got protocols like Pike, which aims to be a universal liquidity layer, using Wormhole to connect liquidity pools everywhere. Hashflow, another DX aggregator, uses it for native swaps, swapping ETH on Ethereum directly for SOL on Solana, for example, without the user dealing with wrapped assets. It makes for better prices and a cleaner experience.
And you mentioned Bitcoin earlier. How does that work? Bitcoin doesn't have smart contracts like Ethereum.
Right, that's where Threshold comes in. They use Wormhole to create TBTC. It's a decentralized way to wrap Bitcoin. Instead of trusting a single company like BitGo with WBTC, Threshold uses a network of nodes and Wormhole's messaging to create TBTC.
So it's a trust-minimized wrapped Bitcoin.
Exactly. It lets Bitcoin holders put their BTC to work in DeFi lending, borrowing, providing liquidity across other chains, but without relying on a centralized custodian. That's a really powerful use case, unlocking Bitcoin's value for the broader DeFi world via Wormhole.
Okay, putting all this together, the hacks showed the danger. But the evolution, the ZK proofs, the real-world adoption, it feels like the whole industry is pushing towards this interconnected but secure blockchain future.
I think that's right, those $2 billion in losses. A very expensive lesson, but the feeling is the bridge problem is solvable. You look at research from groups like Chronosvault, they're exploring mathematically secure bridge design.
Mathematically secure? How?
Ideas like requiring unanimous consensus from multiple different major chains, say Ethereum, Solana, and TON, all have to agree for a transaction to be valid. Combining that with ZK proofs for verification, maybe quantum-resistant algorithms for future proving, even AI for detecting threats in real time.
So moving totally away from trusting a specific set of guardians or validators?
Towards pure mathematical certainty, or at least making an attack so astronomically expensive like that Kronos Volt concept, needing $17 billion to maybe steal $1 billion, that it's just not economically viable. That's the end game. Verifiable systems, not trust-based ones.
And Wormhole sees itself as a key part of building that future, right?
Absolutely. Their stated goal is to be the core connective tissue, the network of networks for this whole decentralized economy. They talk about a future with trillions in tokenized assets from us, from institutions, maybe even governments moving across chains.
Trillions. That's ambitious.
Very. And they see Wormhole as the layer that hides the complexity, secures the value, and becomes the heartbeat of that new on-chain world. That's their vision.
Okay, wow. We've covered a lot. From the basic mechanics of crypto wormholes, these digital tunnels, to the huge benefits like interoperability and reduced risk, but also the really significant dangers, the hacks, and then the evolution, the security improvements, ZK proofs, MultiGov, and the ambitious vision for the future. What really stands out to you after going through all this?
For me, it's the sheer pace of innovation driven by necessity. The hacks forced a reckoning, pushing towards more robust, mathematically sound solutions like ZK proofs much faster than might have happened otherwise. It's that constant cycle of build, break, learn, rebuild stronger.
Yeah, I agree. For me, it's that ambition, connecting everything, and the relentless effort to secure it. Wormhole, with everything they're doing, native swaps, governance, ZK, they're definitely a major player trying to make that connected multiverse happen. So, what's the bottom line for you listening? Well, it means potentially moving your assets, your data, across blockchains faster, cheaper, and hopefully much more securely soon. But it also means you need to stay sharp. Understand the bridge you're using. What are its trust assumptions? Is it guardians, ZK proofs, something else?
Vigilance is key.
Absolutely. The future is definitely multi-chain. Knowing how these connections work is going to be essential. So here's a final thought to chew on. If mathematical certainty, like those ZK proofs, is the ultimate goal, the final boss for cross-chain security, how close are we, really? With crypto evolving so fast, are we years away or closer than we think to truly solving the bridge problem? Something to ponder. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and stay curious.